on, guys? This is Josh again. I'm back out here in the garage. I know I've filmed some of the stuff that I've done on my dad's C10. The project that I was picking it up for was actually to rebuild his 4L60E. It's an older model 4L60. I've rebuilt quite a few of them. Shouldn't be a problem. I did talk to my dad. He mentioned that the transmission would slip if you gave it any throttle. He said go in all the gears, which is what I found out actually. But yeah, it does slip if you give it any sort of heavy throttle or just heavy throttle. Yeah. Other than that, it goes in first, second, third, fourth, lockup, reverse. It's got a pretty firm engagement in most of those. I've yet to get the transmission pulled apart. Maybe putting the cart before the horse on this. I'm not sure. I do have faith that I will, one way or another, get it figured out. The time frame for this is not as good as I thought. Like I said, there's a whole lot of cleaning involved when you're doing junkyard parts, when you're doing, should be junkyard truck, but hey, we love it. It's just been sitting for a while, so we're getting it cleaned up the best I can. This is not a full restoration by any means. I'm just planning on surprising my dad by not only fixing his 4L60, but also putting an LS in it for him. Alright, it's going to be controlled with Holly Terminator X. This is a bunch of stuff that I bought for my own project. But honestly, I just thought it'd be cooler to give my dad something. He's given me a lot. He's taught me a lot. Alright, especially about mechanics. He's the reason I'm poor in the first place. So I help him make me even more poor. But no, it's a really good project. Like I stated, he wanted to do this himself, and he's talked about it for a little bit. He talks about doing a few things, but the man he works nonstop, much like myself. Doesn't have time for piddling. Obviously, a couple years on me, so I don't know. I think it would be a cool project. Can't wait to see the look on his face. Hopefully I could keep it a surprise until I get it done. Hopefully it gets done in a timely fashion. I'm out here trying not to holler because it's a little late at night, and I'm pretty sure my wife's in there trying to sleep right now. So just kind of wanted to give you guys an update on the truck. I think we've done a caliper on it. Turns out that wasn't needed. I bought a brake line. Yeah, all the really important stuff that I'm actually supposed to be fixing, I haven't actually fixed. I did kind of fiddle around with a motor that was in it, the little 350. Probably fooled around with that a little more than I should have. I got that pretty old gem sitting right yonder. Yeah, probably fooled around with that a little more than I should have. And it wasn't a whole lot. I think maybe $150 in total with the little shit that I did to it, plugs and stuff like that. Was gonna do a head gasket, just get the engine running properly, and that way my dad had it for future projects. I know he stated that he wanted to take this 350 and actually put it in his Orange Crush truck. I'll see if I can find a photo of that so you guys can get the idea of what I'm talking about. It's a really nice square body, step side, lifted four-wheel drive deal. Literally, this guy has everything. All right, but we're gonna try to get this one running. As I stated, because I have somebody else editing my videos for me, I didn't want to get things mixed up, and so I haven't been videotaping a whole lot of the actual LS swap part of it. I've been trying to keep it hush hush. I do want to continue posting videos, and so this has been taking some of my time. Continue posting videos so that my dad doesn't catch on to this before I can get the truck back to him. Alright, so bear with me. Hopefully I'll have a cool truck to show you guys when this is all done. I give you a cool walkthrough if you want to know how to do it properly. Maybe I'll post a link for that. I haven't actually watched anything on it. Just start cutting stuff up, pulling stuff out, slamming stuff in. You get the gist of it. Just been cleaning up the garage actually since I dropped it in. It's looking good. I got a bunch more to do. That was actually the easy part. Now comes the hard stuff. I got to get this wiring harness fed through the firewall, preferably in the existing hole. It's already through the firewall where he had his trans, whatchamacallit there. Yeah, I was gonna go and redo the whole. Yeah, I was gonna redo everything. Honestly, that was gloss black paint down there. You guys can see. And it looks like hammered, but anyway, so I wasn't gonna worry about it. I gotta leave something for the old man to do, right? Either that or leave something for myself to do in the future. But nonetheless, I got the motor in there, got accessories on it. I'm hoping that's a good alternator. I just have a bunch of spare parts laying around. I don't really know what's what anymore. Well, harness is just slapped on top of the motor. I was actually gonna do that and then realize what time it was. Gotta get inside, take a shower, and go to my day job tomorrow. So, mostly pictures on this. Alright, mostly pictures on this whole swap, unfortunately. Like I said, I'm not here to show y'all how to do it. I don't have enough battery or storage or any of that. Alright, this is, I'm not a professional by any means. I've done it a couple times, that's about it. I know other people have done it. It can be a speedy process, but I mean, honestly, most of my time so far has been spent just cleaning stuff. And getting a junkyard engine, I don't know. It is a cheaper option, as long as you have the hours to put in to clean the daggum thing and reseal it and all that good stuff. So this has got all new gaskets, all new seals. Just clean everything up. It's a stock, bone stock 5.3 with 862 heads on it. But we're just looking for a driver, man. That's it. That's something. That's a nice little daily driver. Good evening, folks. I wanted to give you just a quick update, kinda, on my dad's C10 top secret mission build. Okay, I know I haven't shown you guys a whole heck of a lot. The fact that I'm trying to keep it secret is just really, it's making it difficult for me to film stuff. And LS swapping, I will admit, is just one of those things. It's not pretty to watch all the bull nonsense, and because I'm not editing my videos, I don't feel like just handing my editor, 15 hours worth of nonsense that she has to sort through. So I'm trying to just get like key points taken care of. But let me walk you guys through and show you kind of what I've got going on. So it's actually a good amount, in case you guys were wondering. All right. I have a whole checklist of stuff. As you guys can see, I mean, I've got the intake, alternator. This intake tube, I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not here to church this thing up. We're not building a show truck by any means. You guys are wondering what this green wire here is for. This is for the fuel pump. If we take a look at the whole thing, got some new battery terminals for it. We got new fan relays wired in. Upper radiator hose. You can see I got coil packs hooked up. So the whole Holley harness is ran. That part's pretty straightforward as far as the Holley harness. Got the belt on there. I got a ground from here. Going down. One goes to the engine block. Somewhere. Let's see. Right there. The other one's going to the frame. Somewhere. The rest of the wires, I'm really not sure. I've just kind of, one piece at a time, just kind of started taking out stuff that I know for a fact is not needed. His amplifier wire was ran over there. As you guys can see, I've got it tucked in back there. This is not the neatest of setups. This wire going across, that's for the O2 sensor. I'm still not entirely sure where that's going to go just yet. All right, as far as this alternator wiring, I had the 4-pin plug right here. Okay, that was, and I'm hoping this is correct. I haven't actually fired the engine up and ran it long enough to find out, but got pin terminal, whatever. I YouTube that. All right, and then if you look here, that is a dummy light that my dad had installed on the small block Chevy. All right. This wire here, we've got ran. That's my 10 gauge wire. This actually runs through here. Back up to this thing. And you guys remember the big green wire that clearly belonged in a house that was ran? I don't know where the heck it was ran. It was over to the battery. I believe he had to do that because down by the starter, the ring terminal was corroding. And so I'm guessing he just didn't have continuity there anymore. As far as the map sensor, you guys can see up top. Okay, I JB Coldwell that. The old sensor is kind of broke off in there. Happened before I got the motor. This one, the big vacuum line, I've got that blocked off. Notice he doesn't have a big brake booster. His lines go down to here. Like I said, it's just a bunch of little stuff. You guys see that we've got a ground wire. Okay, this takes a little bit of learning. All right, it takes a little bit of learning. I had an alternator that I installed on the Grand National actually when I was putting the AC kit in. All right, Murphy had sent me a kit, super clean kit, powder coated everything. The car charged before, car didn't charge after. You guys guessed it. Because it was powder coated, we weren't getting good continuity through here, and which in turn meant that it wasn't grounded. So ended up running ground from here to the frame on the Grand National. worked out great. So just so I didn't have to do that in the future, I figured might as well. This was a ground that he already had on a small block Chevy, so I went ahead and just cleaned everything up, scratched the paint, you know, obviously, all that good jazz. But as you can see right here, and I might do a little bit of tweaking on this just because that turn is kind of hard. It goes down there, okay, and tees, so it goes to, actually, I'm not really sure what the heck it goes to. But nonetheless, it goes to something. All right, this dilly whopper here and whatever. I'm not here to explain every step of the process, otherwise I would have videotaped it for y'all. But we got that wired up. That's done properly, I'm sure. Vacuum line. So this is the only vacuum port coming off of this engine. Right, this is the only one that I'm using so far. And as you can see, I teed right here, fuel pressure regulator. This other one, the only reason that's on there is to go to the map sensor that's hooked to the Holley terminator inside the truck. The rest of it, I mean, that's about it. I've still got, all right, and I didn't want to take this loose because it's still got Freon in it, and I don't have the proper equipment to evacuate the system. And so I set it here for now. I didn't want to unhook it and let Freon go into the atmosphere and all that good stuff for people that have kids. I don't want to destroy the planet single-handedly. I'll let y'all help me with it. And I don't have these. All right, these are on my checklist. I had some wires that were just a hot mess. All right, this is where his old relays were. I mean, he had some other wires, which I didn't really cut. I just put them in the loom. Just trying to make stuff look a little cleaner. Not looking for junk, just straight junk LS swap. All right, these two wires are here. Those are for the fans. That's kind of where I ended last night. I was wiring up the fan relays. Want to make sure both of those are working. This wire over here, may have mentioned already, but that is the main power wires for the Holley ECU. The reason I didn't do those all neat and tucked away is because he did say something about replacing fenders and stuff like that. All right, so didn't want to be a dick and, you know, wrap those around something where he's gonna have to cut the wires and rewire or whatever. Other than that, as I stated, the headers fit really well. All right, so I got these little block off plates. You get them super cheap, Amazon or wherever. Just type in LS truck intake block off plates. All right, nothing fancy about them. Just aluminum, got seals on them to seal it up. That is the IAT sensor. All right, this plug was a solid plug. Did not have a hole in it. In the past, what I've done is I've actually tapped into this, which works out fine, depending on what sensor. I ended up getting one that was threaded. I just randomly go up to the parts store and tell them I need just IAT sensor. I did have to repin this. This was for a Gen 4. I'm talking about the Holley system when I say that. It was for a Gen 4 LS. This one is clearly a Gen 3. You got whatever. You can't really tell. But notice no cam sensor up here. It's in the back. So I repinned A and C. Okay, as far as, okay, let me not skip over what I'm doing at the moment, which is because we're going from carbureted to fuel injection, I have to install a fuel pump. So that's the assembly. Fuel pump's in the box there. I think it's 350 or 340. Should be plenty. Like I said, I didn't do anything to this, just bone stock. So far, really all I have is this blue and white wire that's for tack. I don't even know if that joker works. Honestly, that might have been like a gift for when I was born or something. Somebody gave them. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. We all know that he didn't get that back in 1989. Nothing holds up as good as I have. But this wire here, you can see that's the Holley little 3.5. That's all he's getting, okay? There wasn't a huge budget on this. This plan actually didn't come to mind until after I already had the truck here. And so I've been trying to keep them off my scent for a little bit. It's not the easiest of things. All right. But at the same time, I do have the holiday season, which is quite the excuse. But let me see if I can get this thing open for y'all. Okay, goodness gracious alive. See if we can see up in there. All right, you guys see back there? A little tricky. That's the Holly computer. Okay. Trust me, I did not screw those holes into it. They were already in there. And so I just reused them. That's where his old transmission controller was mounted. And so you guys see not much was showing when the door was closed here. I may go through here. Once I get everything finalized, I may go through here and see if I can mount those relays and make this a little neater. I actually just wanted to coil that up and kind of just get it out of the way so I seen what I had left to do and what I needed to work with. But you guys can see Holly's super easy to work with. All right, these two wires, red and white, one's for the transmission, one is for the actual engine ECU. All right, so one is just for transmission control. So if you have just an X, you're only gonna have one red and white wire. And you also should not have this gray wire. So really minimalistic with the wires that you're gonna have loose on the system. Your blue and white for your tach, if you want to use that. Red and white is gonna be 12 volts switched. All right, I showed you guys this big coil right here is actually your big 10 gauge. That's gonna be your positive and negative. Okay, and that's what gives power, constant power. That's hooked directly to the battery. It gives constant power to your ECU. This wire, when you turn the key on, you want to make sure that it is 12 volts. Okay. Not just switched, but you want to make sure that it stays on while cranking. Very important. Okay, don't just sit there like me and be like, why is it not firing? And then notice when you look at the 3.5-inch screen, which I had sitting right here on the seat next to me, was it kept cutting out on me, meaning I was losing 12 volts when I went all the way to the crank position. All right, the green wire right there underneath the brake pedal, smack dab in the middle of the screen, pretty much. That is the wire for the tach, or so I believe. I'll find out once I get this thing done. All right, the rest of those wires, this like speaker wire stuff over there, that was all covered by his like 3 or 4 floor mats that he had in this damn thing. But we're gonna tuck that. That's all gonna look neat. All right. I really kind of want to catch him off guard with this one. So the plan, as of right now, and hopefully I'll remember to record this, is in a week. Honestly, I've got a week to get this truck done. All right, I'm gonna load it up. Literally this time, a week from now, this truck should be getting loaded up onto the trailer and ready to go back. All right, we're gonna have it on the trailer. I'm going to my brother's house first. He lives like 5-6 minutes from my dad's house. We're gonna go to my brother's house first. My brother also does not know about this. Okay, this isn't government, crackpot stuff that I'm talking about. No conspiracy theories going on here, but just wasn't sure I could trust. Just kidding. I love my brother, but this is a big secret. This is a big secret. LS swapping my dad's truck. Like I said, I haven't really got to do a whole lot. I moved away from home when I was young. Moved back for a few years. Got to spend some time with him then. This is one of those projects, that everybody kind of wishes they could do for their dad, And so I was fortunate enough that my wife is super understanding and has allowed me to do this. The budget for this, it always briefs well. Let me tell you, it always briefs well. I said, babe, I've already got everything to do this. This is all the stuff, like I said, this is all the stuff that was going into the silver Mustang. All right, and so I had a good bit of the stuff already. But it's still a little trinket shit. The motor's been sitting in there. And so like the neighbors come by and they're like, oh, it's not fired up yet. No, man. All right, that's the easy part. Anybody could throw a motor inside an engine bay. That's easy. All right, getting it to run and drive properly in a vehicle that it didn't come in, although they make, motor mounts and headers and all that stuff. It's a process I have to go through and see, sometimes you get your whole, shopping cart full of parts that you've done up in your head and you're like, yep, got it, check. You get all those parts installed and you're like, dadgummit, I missed this, I missed that. I need these, I need those, I need connectors. Just silly stuff, all right? And so it will nickel and dime you. As far as the actual motor, yes, an LS can be had for a lot less money than a Coyote, okay? Unless you just go to the junkyard, in which case V8, it's all the same. But there's people that have like full-time jobs just going to junkyards and pulling out, whether it be 6.2s, 6.0s, Coyotes, the highly sought after, swap engines. These guys are like, that's their day job. They go to the junkyard every single morning. As soon as those cars hit the lot, bam, they're snatched. No, I'm not contemplating a career choice. That doesn't sound like fun. I'll let them keep doing it. Maybe I'll get lucky one day and be able to get my own. But for now, as I stated, we're still trying to keep it on budget. On budget here. All right, so this motor I had. And this motor's been sitting in the corner of my shop, garage, whatever you want to call it. Been sitting in the corner of my garage for 8 months. All right, prior to me getting it, I don't know actually what the history was. I'm pretty certain it was pulled from a junkyard. It doesn't have like the letters on it or anything, but it looked pretty clean on the outside. Came from a known source. So wasn't really concerned about it. But I will tell you, when you guys go to the junkyard, the first thing you want to do when you're considering pulling, let me close this just in case I don't think the dome light works, but I don't want to smoke the battery. If you guys are considering pulling an engine, I do recommend having a 24 millimeter, I forget the standard size for it, but 1/2-inch ratchet, breaker bar, or something like that. Put on the harmonic balancer and at least try to spin the engine over, especially before you go through the process of scraping years of grease and dirt off the engine, stripping everything down, and repainting everything, all that good jazz. Probably a good idea to make sure the engine actually spins over first. The plan was not to open this engine, okay? Sometime after I'd gotten everything gussied up, I went in to that mode where you're like, hey, I thought of, it crossed my mind a few times. And I was like, nah, we're good. Let me check. And so I checked, and as luck would have it, this joker was not spinning, wouldn't. Okay, this is really just more for my records, and his. E85 ethanol, alright, so we're good to run ethanol with this one, unless I'm saying E85-less, I don't know. We can look this one up and double check later. My wife has opened the garage door on me, which means it's cold in here. Alright, because I pulled the old fuel pump out. Like I said, just a bunch of little tedious stuff. You see I got the pick, screwdriver, hammer. No, I don't have a brass drift. I just pray. But but I did have to like scrape around. I'm gonna show y'all. Scrape around the fuel pump, try to get some of that gum and dirt and rocks and stuff out of there so that it didn't fall inside the tank. You guys can see I've got quite the mess under there. That's all the stuff that I scraped out. I'm going to, since I've already unpissed her off and there's fuel smell in here, I'm gonna go ahead and pull that back out real quick, like try to get this whole setup attached, put it back on, and then reseal it. So that way we could at least seal the tank back up and I don't have to stink the garage up again tomorrow if I get a chance to work on it. All right, guys, today is December 24th, Christmas Eve. All right, we got the transmission and everything rebuilt. I threw it in a truck, get to connecting stuff, and as luck would have it, Terminator X Max, which is the Holly system that I'm running on the truck, won't control that transmission. So I did what PDP does, and I got on Marketplace late last night. Got a reply back from a guy just now, and close this garage. Yeah, give me a second on the truck. Yeah, we're going to Rankin. It's just over an hour drive from here. Go pick up another transmission. He claims that the it's a core, so it does need to be rebuilt. Luckily, this 4L60 internals are mostly the same, so as long as hard parts aren't broken, I think we should have everything we need to rebuild this. All right. I just got off of work, worked a half day at City Electric Supply, and so came home, picked up my wife, and we're about to head out to go get this transmission. You guys may have caught a glimpse of that, so I still have the exhaust to do. Got the old small block Chevy sitting in the bed. Of course, I got instructions. I actually do read instructions when it comes to electrical stuff. I need to have my trusty assistant come out here and help me bleed the brakes. Maybe tomorrow. We'll see. Or the following day, because tomorrow's Christmas. But yeah, this elf will be out here in this workshop for a little bit tonight. Trying to get my dad's Christmas present done. He won't be getting it on Christmas, but hopefully soon. Alright guys, not mic'd up at the moment. Hopefully you can hear me. This was pretty much initial startup here. Got it running, filling it with fluid. At the moment I realized there is a slight issue. Okay, for one, the smoke blowing out of the exhaust. I did put a lot of stuff in the cylinders to try to get this motor broke free, and so it does sound like it's missing, and also the transmission's leaking pretty good. get it fixed, it's just gonna be a matter of time. I may have to postpone taking it back to my dad for a little bit, just until we can get it all figured out. But it's running. Alright, I didn't want to take this thing too far, but I do have to hit all the gears. As long as this temperature gauge is working, I think we're still in business. So far I've felt first and second gear, so we're just gonna see if we can get it to hit all of them, huh? Second. Third. Fourth. And I felt lockup. As soon as I lifted, I felt lockup. Alright, I think at this point, I don't know what's going on with the transmission, but the engine does sound pretty collapsed. Alright, also he does have that needle nose vice grip on the front driver's side caliper, which makes making a right turn super easy because it only brakes on the front right side. I'll put y'all back in my pocket until I make it home. Alright, I need 100% focus while driving this rig. So far, like I said, as long as the coolant temperature sensor is reading correctly, this thing is not overheating. The oil pressure reading well as well. So I don't know. It might just be a timing issue. I'll let you know. I'm just kidding. I know the camera's on. Guys, towards the end of that video, I may have fooled y'all. It looks like I'm sitting there driving with a completed LS swap. That is not the case, guys. What's happening there is I'm driving around. This is prior to me taking the small block Chevy out. I'd actually got it running. I showed y'all in a previous video that it was running. I did have it driving. I was test driving it to find out what was going on with it. And so I got it all taken care of. Test drove that joker. All right. And I wanted to know what was going on with the transmission prior to taking it out. I found out. And I know it was all fast forwarded. But I did figure it out. Okay, I got the old transmission rebuilt, fixed, and all that good stuff, and then had to go buy a newer model. Fun stuff. Alright, so what you guys do know is that when I did the first fire up on the LS, that it was smoking quite heavily. Okay, that was, it turns out, you guys will find out in the next video. Alright, so if you like, follow, and subscribe, we'll go ahead and show you what was going on with that motor, as well as the reveal to my dad. And it wasn't on Christmas Day, but it was a birthday / Christmas present for him. So stick around, we'll find out how that goes. Until then, peace.